Hello Internet! Today I want to show you how to play Red Rising, designed by Jamie Stegmaier and published by Stonemaier Games. This is one of my top games from this publisher. It's based on the series of novels from Pierce Brown, depicting a dystopian society with a color-based hierarchy. Golds are at the top of society. They have all the best technology, weapons, food, and homes. At the bottom are the Reds, the workers who mine for the precious helium element, used and coveted by all the worlds. The parallels to modern-day life are a bit real and a bit sad, so let's play a game. In Red Rising, 2 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, compete in sculpting the best hand they can muster in an effort to score the most points by end of game, all in about 45 to 60 minutes. Check it out. First, place the game board within reach of all players. Shuffle the deck of character cards and place them on the space provided. Place the Rising die near the deck as well. Note the 4 locations: Jupiter, Mars, Luna, and the Institute. On each, place 2 character cards from the deck, overlapping each so that you can only see the name, point value, and color of the cards. Each player is then given 5 cards face down from the deck, a random house tile with a unique ability. This comes with a couple of things in that house's color: a matching reference card, a fleet token, and a pile of Institute tokens, 10 to be exact. Players' fleet tokens are placed in the 0 space on the fleet track of the game board. The tray of helium tokens is placed on the board in the provided space. If there are 2 players, take a third type of player token and place 3 of them on the Institute space. This will only affect scoring, so we'll come back to these later. Finally, place the Sovereign token near the game board and choose a starting player to keep the first player token. If any player is House Apollo, they get to go first. If there's no House Apollo, choose a starting player randomly.
House Apollo is a cheater. They always go first?
Yes, unfortunately.
Well, then why wouldn't I pick House Apollo every time?
Well, it is dealt randomly, so you can't pick any house. You just get what you get. Red Rising is a hand management game. Throughout the game, players will draw cards from the deck and the board, and also discard cards back to the board. Each card in Red Rising represents a character from the book series. They have a name, a point value, a color, a bonus point value, and often some kind of ability that'll trigger when they're deployed or when a certain game condition is met.
Are the cards characters from the story?
Yes, each card represents a character or a generic character from the story. In the world of Red Rising, each color supports the golds however they can. There are 7 of the lower colors and 21 golds in the deck.
But I never read the stories, Bea. Does that mean I will lose the game?
No, Nellie. You don't need to have read books to play and enjoy the game. If you have read the books, you'll probably enjoy a lot of references, but it isn't a requirement at all. Cards on the board are scaled in a stack. The top of a stack is the card that's fully exposed, and the bottom of a stack is the card that's the opposite, buried under all the rest. Red Rising is played in turns, starting with 1 player and proceeding clockwise around the board until the end of the game. On a player's turn, they have to do one of 2 things: lead or scout. To lead, select a card from your hand and place it at the top of any of the 4 stacks. If the card has a deploy ability marked with this symbol, you can follow the instructions here. To replace this card in your hand, you'll need to draw from either the top of a different stack and trigger that location's ability, or draw from the deck and roll the Rising die, gaining the associated bonus. To scout, once a player's happy with the cards in their hand, they will want to scout. Instead of drawing or discarding from a lead action, reveal the top card of the main deck and place it into one of the 4 locations. You won't trigger the deploy ability on the card, but you will trigger the location. The locations and their abilities are as follows. Jupiter. When you draw a card from Jupiter, you can advance your marker once on the fleet track. Mars. When you draw a card from Mars, you gain 1 helium token to your supply. Luna. When you draw a card from Luna, you gain the Sovereign token. This will trigger the ability of your house, even if you already have the Sovereign token. The Institute. When you draw a card from the Institute, you may place one of your influence tokens on the provided location. The Rising die mimics these bonuses randomly and adds 2 others. 1. The ability to reveal the top card of the deck, and place it on any location without triggering any abilities. Or 2. Banishing the top card of a location of your choice. To banish a card, remove it from the game into a shared pile. Certain cards will allow you to interact with banished cards, and certain cards will score more based on what cards are in the banish pile.
So even though they're banished, they can still be used or score points?
Exactly, Nellie, but only if the cards specify that.
Well, that's good then. I felt bad about banishing something forever and ever.
Play continues with players sculpting their hands one after another. The end of the game is triggered when 3 of the following conditions are met by any amount of players, or when 2 of these are met by 1 player. 1. A player having a collection of 7 or more helium tokens. 2. Reaching or surpassing the number 7 on the fleet track. And 3. 7 or more of 1 color influence on the Institute.
So if I have 7 helium tokens and have 7 of my tokens on the Institute, the game is just over?
Yep, the end game is triggered right there. Nothing can change that. Once the end of the game is triggered, play continues until all players have had an equal number of turns, using the first player marker given at the start of the game as guidance. Or, if there's House Apollo, they get 1 more turn.
They go first and last?
Yep, House Apollo cheats.
House Apollo seems mean. Is it a mean house?
Well, they are 100% mean in the books, so that tracks. At the end of the game, all players reveal their cards and then go to scoring. To score a hand, first, trigger any end-of-game text on cards marked with this symbol. These can let some cards count as other character names or colors, as well as a few other items. Next, score the cards themselves. Every card is worth the core value listed in the upper left hand, and can possibly be worth more if the other cards in hand meet the conditions listed alongside it.
Do a lot of cards have those other conditions?
Just about all of them do.
That seems like a lot of reading.
Well, it is based on a lot of really long books, so I guess it makes sense if you have to read a lot. Then, add points for the board features. Fleet track positions are worth a certain number of points based on how high your marker was. Helium tokens are worth a static 3 points apiece. Influence tokens on the Institute are worth a number of points based on the majority of overall tokens there. The player with the most tokens gains 4 points per token. The player with the second most tokens gains 2 points per token. All other players gain 1 point per token. In a 2-player game, those extra tokens that we put down count as a phantom player to keep scoring fair. The player with the sovereign token is awarded an additional 10 points. And finally, for each card in a hand beyond 7, that player loses 10 points. It's possible throughout the game, with various abilities, to end up with more than the starting hand size, and this is how the game balances that.
That sounds like a lot of math to get to the end. Is there an easier, less mathy way to find out how many points I got?
Nope. You just have to do all the math. Unless you want to use the app they have for scoring, but you don't have a phone, Nellie, so you, unfortunately, are stuck doing the math. The player with the most points after scoring is the winner. If there's a tie, the tied player with the sovereign token is the winner. Otherwise, players share the victory. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, please like, subscribe, comment, any or all of the things.
Pretty please subscribe. I like subscribers. As your friendly gaming narwhal, I approve of this video.
If you'd like to see a playthrough of Red Rising, please check below for the show notes. Until next time, Internet, thanks so much for watching.